Hey guys, and welcome back to Okami. That's a very, almost Norse-sounding name we've got here, Rich. Do you mind explaining a little bit about it?
Well, it's definitely not Norse. It's very much more based on the Ainu language. Obviously, I've been speaking previously about Ainu stuff because you have Oki and all that jazz and everything to do with Kamui.
Oh yeah.
Wep'keer is just a continuation of that. The Japanese name is Wep'keer, and basically it is based on the idea of storytelling in Ainu.
Okay.
Bear with me a second. There we go. So many of the Ainu dialects, even from one end of Hokkaido to the other, weren't mutually intelligible, so they were very different. But the classic Ainu language of the Yukar, or from the Ainu epic stories, were understood by all. And without a writing system, the Ainu were masters of narration, with the Yukar and other forms of narration such as the Wep'keer tales being committed to memory and related to gatherings, often lasting many hours or even days. So basically it was a form of storytelling.
Okay.
And I think for what this village does and is to Okami, the whole thing of storytelling I think is very fitting considering how close we are to the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful. I have to say, and at this point comparing Okami to Twilight Princess is getting a bit ridiculous because, one did copy the other and vice versa. But I can't help but think of the whole mountain climb when you're going to the ice ruins, with the Yetis and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Because you've got to use your wolf senses, fittingly enough, to get across the frozen lake or whatever.
But this is easily much more pretty.
Yeah, it's very #aesthetically pleasing, if you will. Well, that's my token use of aesthetic for the part over and done with. Just going back to your upgrade screen for a second. I noticed you finished, being able to upgrade your health and a couple of other things. So I take it there's a maximum you can upgrade through paying with praise, and then the rest is done through sun fragments or whatever.
In terms of health, yes, there is a set amount that you get for upgrading with praise. There's a set amount that you get with sun fragments, and that seems totally reasonable to me. I mean, I'd actually say that it's a fairer way of doing upgrading your health than what Zelda does, because obviously in Zelda franchise it's either get the heart containers from the end of a dungeon, or go out of your way to find the heart pieces, which is fine and it works and it's a lot of fun because half the joy is exploring and trying to find those heart pieces.
Yeah.
But I think Okami allows you, it's trying to make things easier for you because it's a lot easier to get praise than it is to find the sun fragments if you don't know what you're doing.
Really, it's just paying for health upgrades with what are essentially rupees anyway, so, I don't know, if you're a cynic, you could say, well, it's just basically the same thing, but Okami put its own spell on it, and I like it. How exactly do you upgrade your health in Breath of the Wild, by the way?
That's a bit more complicated. Right, so the way you do that is you complete the shrines, and you get spirit orbs from those. Once you've gotten 4 of those spirit orbs, you can go to a statue of the goddess, and you can trade those 4 orbs for either additional stamina or additional health. So you have to make the choice as to what you want more. I would say, for the most part, get to at least 13 hearts, and then you're fine. Anybody who's played the game knows exactly why I'm saying you need at least 13 hearts.
Fair enough.
And also because obviously the game is quite hard, the more hearts you get the better.
Right.
But then I know that a lot of people do like to upgrade their stamina wheels because it means that if you get into a fight that you don't want to be part of, it's much easier to leg it before you get into trouble.
I've got to say, that's one thing I was kind of disappointed that Skyward Sword did not give you the option to do.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you can level up your weapons, you can get stuff to, you know, keep your stamina longer, but you can never upgrade your, like, base level stamina. So I'm glad that's included in Breath of the Wild.
And obviously, the more shrines you complete, the more you can upgrade, and that's just quite fun. You can also do fun things where you convert health into stamina, or stamina into health, and you've just got a lot of choice.
So, who's this Samickle fellow? Very funny sounding name.
Well, this is Samickle.
Oh, okay. I missed the I.
And basically, he's not the Elder, but he is trying to protect the Elder, basically because stuff has occurred, and the Elder is not in the best of positions right now. Because he's just not... he's not well, let's put it that way. Because there was an awful situation that occurred, and so he's basically had to take on the role of being the chief for the time being. And annoyingly, there's very little information that I can find about Samickle here, which is just like, for God's sake.
So, are the Oina, like, skin changes? Because, like, of the two warriors we've seen so far, like him and Oki, they both have the ability to transform into wolves.
Yes, all of the Oina have the ability to shapeshift into wolf forms, all of which are based on their masks and their clothing, which is just, you know, really awesome.
Okay, so he's not going to let us through. Like, we can't fight him as easily as we did Oki. Oh, well, I guess you can't solve everything with a tussle.
Well, exactly, but it's fine, and rather annoyingly, no one's really going to speak to us either, so we better just leave. There's nothing important we can do, but oh, look! Someone is actually going to talk to us, which is really nice.
Interesting. I'm loving this background music, right?
I know, it's just lovely.
I thought that was like a miniature dragon in the profile pic for a second there, but no, it's just a red dog.
No, well, it's another wolf, basically. And actually, this is something else that somebody in the comments brought up, and it's something that I was going to get to eventually, of the whole thing of wolves.
Yeah.
In symbolism, because basically the wolf is actually a really important creature in Japanese symbolism, and I'm just going to get that information up.
Okay, also important in Norse, funnily enough.
Right, so it's not... I don't want the Honshu wolf, I want the Hokkaido wolf, I believe.
Oh, okay, so this blizzard isn't natural. I thought it wasn't. It seemed a bit too dreary for it to be a regular snowstorm.
The Ainu revered the wolf, which is their specific type of wolf, as the deity Hoku Kamui, Howling God, in recognition of the animal's similar hunting habits. Wolves were sacrificed in sending away Iomante ceremonies and some Ainu communities, such as those in Tokachi and Hidaka, and they held origin myths linking the birth of the Ainu to a coupling between a white wolf and a goddess.
Ah.
Ainu hunters would leave portions of their kills for wolves, and it was believed that hunters could share a wolf's kill if they politely cleared their throats in its presence. So, yes. Because of the wolf's special status in Ainu culture, hunters were forbidden from killing wolves with poison arrows or firearms, and wasting the pelt and meat of a wolf was thought to provoke wolves into killing the hunter responsible. The Ainu did not differentiate wolves from their domestic dogs, and would strive to reproduce wolf traits in their dogs by allowing dogs in heat to roam freely in wolf-inhabited areas in order to produce hybrid offspring. But unfortunately, the Hokkaido wolf, in particular, ended up becoming extinct on the island.
Aww.
Essentially, with the onset of the Meiji Restoration in 1868, Emperor Meiji officially ended Japan's long-standing isolationism through the Charter Oath and sought to modernise Japan's agriculture by replacing its dependence on rice farming with American-style ranching. Ohio rancher Edwin Dunn was hired as a scientific advisor in 1873 for Kaitakushi, which was the Hokkaido Development Agency, and began promoting ranching with state-run experimental farms. As wolf predation was inhibiting the propagation of horses in southeastern Hokkaido and allegedly causing hardship to the Ainu deer hunters, the Meiji government declared wolves as noxious animals, which is Yugai Dobutsu, entrusting Dunn to oversee the animal's extermination. Dunn began his work at Nikapu Ranch with a mass poisoning campaign involving the use of strychnine-laced baits.
Jeez.
And this was supplemented by a bounty system established by the Kaitakushi. So, yeah, they tried to basically... And, well, they made them extinct, because they're assholes.
Wow. I'm glad that didn't turn up as like a subplot in Okami or anything.
But yes, because... Well, obviously, because we're a wolf, and everyone in here... It makes sense that we end the game in a village of wolf people, in a way.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are most likely to revere Ami as a goddess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because they see wolves as... not necessarily celestial creatures, but godly creatures. They are divine. And so, as Ami grows in power, it makes sense that this would be the last place she would need to come.
So, what I'd gleaned from that little flashback, or whatever, in the other person's hut, the darkness is coming to the north, we kind of already knew that, and her little sister's gone missing. Also, there was a thing with Oki stealing a badass sword and refusing to give it back.
Basically, yes. So, twin demons took over, well, basically attacked the village and the mountains, and took over. And in that process, Kemu got hurt, and it was all that they could do to get him out of there and rescue him.
Right.
In the meantime, little Lika, which is Kai's younger sister, has disappeared, and as Kemu is saying, Lika is the only one who can basically save the world right now, because winter is here, and if it continues the way it is, then everyone's going to die because it's going to get too cold and dark to survive.
Christ.
Yeah. Kemu can't do it any longer because he's just not got the strength, so it needs to be Lika. But obviously she's not present right now, she's disappeared off somewhere.
Okay, I think I got the gist. We have our next mission, or plot pull, as it were.
Indeed, we've got to head to Yoshpet, which is an interesting place, let's just put it that way.
Let's see. Oh, that's the part, 2 parts from now. Interesting.
Yes! Well, you see, that's largely because this part is going through all the stuff we can do in Wep'keer. The next part is exploring Ezofuji, which is the mountain, as much as possible.
Okay, so it's a side quest part, essentially.
Essentially, but it's more of an exploration part than anything.
Okay.
And then we're going to head off to Yoshpet. But yes, something else that you may have noticed here is that Kemo believes this to be, well, believes Ami to be Shiranui, rather than Ami.
Shiranui. Why does that name ring a bell?
Well, it should do, because Shiranui is the name of the white wolf that helped defeat Orochi 100 years ago.
Oh, Jesus. Well, way to fail a spot check there, Tom. Goddamn. Well, it'll all come back to me eventually, and if not, Richie will just give me the gist at the end.
Exactly. I mean, it's basically what I'm here for, you know?
I won't go that far, but... so what are we doing next, mate? Because I'm noticing there's, like, about 6 minutes left, so there must be something good to do.
Yes, so there's a couple of little side quests going on.
Oh, cheeky.
One which is quite fun, but involves something that I would rather not have to do, but that is fine because these things occur, and it's not as bad as Sleepy, so I can live. So yes, Otter Mask here, because that's what his name has to be, because he's wearing an otter mask.
Of course.
Despite the fact that every other person in this village has a name that is not Otter Mask. We have to make a really, really big snowball.
Oh my god, it's that one mission from Wheel of Katamari.
Basically, yes. Now, if you push this snowball too close to the fire, then obviously it will begin to melt and shrink. And that can be slightly annoying. Obviously, ball pushing physics mean that this can take a while.
Man, if they just gave you the ability to, like, lock or latch onto any sphere that you're rolling, it would make it 10 times more enjoyable, I think.
Exactly, but no, they just decided to make it, to be fair, sort of like you were pushing an actual... Well, not like you're pushing an actual ball, because you'd actually have a bit more control.
Yeah.
They're sort of trying to make it so that you're a wolf pushing a ball. Of course, that's going to be difficult.
The simulator that no one asked for, yet everyone needed.
So you do have to make this actually quite big, and I ended up going backwards and forwards, checking with him that it was big enough. And he kept saying, no, needs to be big, and I was just like, oh, for God's sake, just take the damn thing.
So I blacked out when he was explaining what he needed the snowball for exactly. Is he just making a snowman?
I think he just wants a snowball, to be fair.
Well, this is a snow boulder.
Yeah, I think he's slightly nuts. And, I mean, to be fair, considering he's just hanging out behind this closed door where there's what looks to be a frozen lake, he must be clearly quite nuts.
Yeah, or just bored. He is a child, after all.
All that, yeah.
Is this good enough, your majesty?
Unfortunately, no, it is not.
Jesus. Does it give you any kind of, like, prompt or indication when you've rolled up enough?
No, you need to kind of, well, to be fair, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that you just have to keep doing it and then go talk to him.
I don't mean to mock the game's, technical shortcomings, but I'm noticing that the black outline on the snowball is struggling to stay nice and smooth.
Yeah, it is starting to freak out just a little bit. But, to be fair, considering this is like everything's scrunched up, it's not exactly going to be that, smooth. Like, they're just not. Because whenever you create anything of that size, you have to do a lot of shaping to get it to end up being smooth. So it'll be blotchy, wouldn't it?
I'm just being panicky, it's fine.
Oh, it's fine, because in my head I'm just going, come on, look at the size of that thing, it's freaking huge. Why are you not accepting that as being bloody huge?
Also, I think I meant pedantic. I don't actually know what panicky means. Can you look that up for me?
Well, so panicky is a bit of a slang term as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so panicky is placing too much emphasis on trivial or minor details, i.e. being fussy,
Okay.
which is essentially exactly the same as being pedantic. Well, it's not exactly the same, because being pedantic means that you're excessively concerned with minor details or rules, rather than just being fussy on trivial stuff.
Wow.
But that's just a very small difference between the two.
Well, you're being pedantic about being panicky now. I think we've gone through the looking glass. Alright, what's next, mate?
Pretty much, I believe we're just going to get the rest of these chests. Probably just go and make sure we've got all the dig spots, and that's pretty much all that we can do in Wep'keer for now.
Okay.
So we are going through a string of relatively short parts, but that's just because the game is giving us a moment of peaceful exploration.
Oh yeah. I've looked ahead. This is the run-up to the finale, guys.
Yeah. Basically, you're going to get sprinklings of plot and so on, and lore and so on. But then, as soon as we hit the next session, i.e. next week for you guys, everything is hitting the fan. And that's not going to stop until just before we finish the game.
Well, you know, the sooner we're done with this, the sooner we can start recording Ghibli commentaries.
This is very true.
Although I will be sad when this is over. Honestly, I have been enjoying it.
And I too will be sad, but I will also be incredibly proud because, I mean, just think of the achievement. I managed to persuade you to do Okami on the HellfireComms channel, and we finished it 100%. Like, that's quite an achievement considering how stubbornly you did not want to do this commentary initially.
Well, you know, time changes many things. It washes away anger, it heals sadness for the most part. It erodes Entom's stubbornness. Oh, it is the great constant in our lives.
Indeed. After all, everything in life is only for now.
What's that a reference to? Is it a musical?
Avenue Q.
Oh, it is a musical then.
Yeah. One of my favourite songs from a musical of all time, just because it's just glorious. Because it's just like, oh god, I'd need to have run-in, but basically, everything but death and paying taxes is only for now. And actually, so, because I have so much yen, I've actually bought the most powerful weapon in the game.
Nice!
Oh no, wait a minute, no I haven't yet. It's just the next, rosary. Bloody hell. It's because they look so bloody similar.
What do you like? Hey, what do you like? Oh, I guess we'll leave it on that pedantic note, as it were. See you next time for some more Okami.